and welcome to Pilates. So this is going to be a gender level class, so it doesn't matter if you've done it before or not, I'll give you various levels throughout. So let's start by setting up our alignment. So find your hip bones, draw a line all the way down to the floor, and that's where I want your feet to be. And then just take your hands on your hips, try to take a soft bend on your knees, and start to tip and tilt the pelvis. So really trying to isolate the lower part of the spine. See how much movement you have there. Make that movement as big as you can. And then gradually make it smaller again. And settle somewhere in the middle. So that is your neutral pelvis position, and we want to keep that there for the whole class pretty much. Now bring your hands up to your rib cage, so they're not down on the hips, they're all the way up on the rib cage. So take a nice deep breath in. You should feel your rib cage expand sideways, and then as you breathe out through your mouth, you should feel your hands get a little bit closer together again. So focusing on lateral thoracic breathing, which means breathing to the middle of the back, sideways, rather than up and down. So we don't want the shoulders to rise up, we want to keep pressing them down the spine. One more. And then just relax the hands back down by your sides. Keep that breath going. Now as you breathe in, the shoulders are going to come up, and as you breathe out, you're going to circle them back and down. And we're going to start to make it a little bit bigger. Lifting the elbows, get more rotation into the shoulders. Last one. And then this time you're going to bring the hands all the way up and straight back down. So as the arms come up, I want you to think about drawing the ribs down towards the hips, closing this gap so that when the arms come up, the ribs don't pop out like this. You want to keep that nice and tight. So keeping that core connection. Still going with your breath, so as the arms come up, we're breathing in, and as they come down, you're breathing out again. You're going to add a rise at the same time, and then the arms in a circle down. This time, when the heels come down, we're going to sink back, sit down, stand up again. So breathe in, lift up on your toes, circle the arms down. As you breathe out, we sink down into that squat. So making sure the knees are going directly over the middle of your feet, they're not knocking together or pushing out to the side, straight forwards, and the arms just float to shoulder height. They're not too high. If you want an extra challenge, you can try and stay on your toes as you take this squat. So don't attempt this one if you've got anything wrong with your knees, any knee pain, anything like that. You can put your heels down to squat. and heels back down, back to neutral. Now you lift one heel off the floor and then the other one. So we want equal weight between both feet. We want our hips to stay on the same level. And again, we want the knee to come forwards over the middle of the foot. From here, we're going to add opposite arm. So again, just straighten up to shoulder height, not too high. And then you can start to come back on both toes in the middle and then put one heel down. So a little bit more stability and balance needed. Last one, and back to neutral again. Now, same idea, but we're just going to make it a little bit bigger, so into a balance now. So knees coming up to about hip height. We're still using the opposite arm to leg. And think about that neutral pelvis, so we don't want the pelvis to tap forwards as you lift the knee. Time, I'm going to add on. So you're going to lift up, we're going to take everything out to the side, bring it back in, and then put it down. So we want the hips to stay facing forwards, and we're going to try and get some rotation into the hip. So still thinking about that neutral pelvis, still thinking about that core connection, ribs to the hips. One more. And back to neutral. This time, start with your hands on your hips, add the arms in after. Just going to take one leg behind and then the other one. So making sure the leg's going right behind you, not somewhere out to the side. Squeeze it and keep it in behind you. Coming back to hip distance every time. When you're ready, we can add the opposite arm. So you're going to think about creating a nice long line from your fingertips all the way down to your toes. Next level, if you want it, if you want to add on, you're going to come out, you're going to take a bend, stretch, and then down. So test in the balance. Again, a little bit more. So just a little one, not too far. More each side. And back to neutral again. So just reset your posture, make sure the feet are still hip distance. Roll the shoulders back, take a bend in your knees, and we're going to turn the upper body to the side. So hips are still facing forwards, we're just twisting the upper body. From here, you can take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, we can start by tapping the chin and then letting the shoulders roll forwards and come into a roll down the side. Go as far as you can. Once you can't go any further, take a deep breath in. Slowly roll up as you breathe out. Breathe in at the top, turn the body to the other side and go again. So let the arms just hang on the shoulders. Still working with your breath, and you keep your knees bent the whole more time. One more each side. Making sure the knees are locked in together. Keep that alignment. And back to center. Now reset again, and then we're going to take a roll down the middle this time. So exactly the same. Take a breath in, lift up as tall as you can, and then tuck the chin. Let the shoulders roll, and one vertebrae at a time. I'm going to roll down as far as you can. Deep breath in when you get to the bottom, and then restack. One vertebrae at a time. Deep breath in at the top, reset all the shoulders, and go again. Stretching your lower back or too much of stretching your hamstrings, you can keep your knees bent for the whole roll down. If not, you can keep the legs straight and get that extra stretch. This time we're going to add in at the bottom, so you're going to do your roll down as normal, and then watch out for the change. So when you get down as far as you can, you're going to bend one knee straight in the opposite one, and then reach up with the same arm, look up to the ceiling, come back down, bend both knees, and then open up to the other side. And release, slowly roll up. So don't worry if you're not touching the floor. You can do exactly the same stretch about halfway down or as far as you can. So if you need to, you can lean on the knee here if you're halfway, or we're all the way down. So don't push it too far, listen to your body and do what you can. We're going to do that sequence 2 more times. Last time. Yes. And then when we come to the end of our mat, we're going to do one more roll down and then come down to the floor. So roll down as you have done. When you get to the bottom, just take a couple of steps out with your hands, put the knees down, sit back on your heels and stretch the arms forward, and relax your head to the floor. From here, take the arms round to the side, take a stretch in that shoulder and down into your back. Change sides. Back to the middle, and let's take a shoulder stretch. So you can thread one arm through that gap. Get the chest down. And change sides. come back to the middle. Now you're going to keep your toes connected. Bring the knees about as wide as your mat and then sink your hips back towards the heels. Relax the head down, so you should feel a deeper stretch into your hips in this position. And when you're ready, slowly come out of that and come onto all fours. So we want a nice box position, so our hands are under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And we're just going to take a cat and cow stretch. So from here, you want equal weight between all 4 points. And then from there, you're going to pull the belly button in towards the spine. And then start to curve back through the middle of your back. Drop the head and tap the pelvis. Then you're going to release through neutral and come into an extension, only if it feels okay for your back and your neck. And you're just going to move through those 2 positions quickly or as slowly as you like. So you might want to hold one more than the other. That's totally fine. One more. And come back to neutral. Now just focus on your pelvis. I'm going to draw a circle with it. So you're going to come into that tuck position, over to one side, into the extension, and over to the other side. So you're literally drawing a circle with your pelvis. So think about leading with your tailbone. So you want to get as much articulation in the lower part of your spine as you can. And then if you want to, you can start to take the head in a circle as well. So you can start to get the whole back involved. And then if you can change direction, notice if one way is easier than the other. One might feel more natural. Last circle. And back to that neutral position. From here, we carry on with the spine mobility. You're going to look over one shoulder and then try and bring your hip closer to that shoulder by squeezing your obliques. And then come back to the middle and go the other way. So you're not squeezing your sides and shortening your torso. One more each side. Back to neutral. And one more exercise in this position. You're going to come up to a cat stretch. Hold that curve and then sit back on your heels as far as you can. Holding the curve as much as you can. Coming back up and then releasing back to neutral. And then again, lift up into the curve. Keep the curve as much as you can as you sit back. Come back up and release. And do a few more of those, really to get that spine moving. Last one. Back to neutral, and then sit back on your heels normally and relax into child's pose. From there, when you're ready, you're going to come all the way out onto your tummy and you're going to take your arms out in front of you. From here, we can start by just lifting one arm and then the other one. So your head should be slightly off the floor. Chin stays tucked in, so you're looking looking straight down in front of you. And we'll try and keep everything else nice and still. Now we shouldn't be completely relaxed in the centre. We want to maintain that core connection. So think about pulling your belly button away from the mat. And then connect to your breath as well. So you should be breathing out to lift, breathing in to lower. 2 more. And then relax the arms. You can relax your head at this point if you want to. And then you're going to lift and lower the legs. So exactly the same thing, but with your lower body. So we're going to try not to shift side to side too much. Keep the hip bones facing the floor. And try and keep the legs straight, so we lift the whole leg off the floor, not just from the knee down. Think about lifting the thigh up as well. Should be squeezing the glutes to lift the leg. And again, keeping that core connection nice and solid. 1 more each side. And relax. Okay, reset that posture. Next level, so if you want to, you can go back to even the exercises we just did. If not, we're going to try and put them together. So we want opposite arm and opposite leg to lift at the same time. So again, the head slightly off the floor, but you're looking directly in front of you. You try and get that whole leg off the floor and the whole arm. So imagine someone's got hold of your hand and someone's got hold of your foot, and they're pinning you in opposite directions, so we get a nice long line. One more each side. And relax. You can bend your arms in and rest your head down completely for this next one. You're going to take your legs a little bit wider and turn out the legs. So try and turn out from the tops of the thighs, not just from the feet. And then you're going to lift the legs up and beat the heels together. So fast, tiny movements. Legs should be nice and straight. And again, as much of the leg off the floor as you can. And straight legs as much as you can, so not just from the knee down. Breathe in for about 3 to 4 beats, and then breathe out for 3 to 4. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Once more, push yourself back onto your heels into child's pose and relax. And then when you're ready, we're going to come out to lie on one side. So extend this arm all the way out, relax your head on your bicep, and stretch your legs all the way out, so in one straight line. If you're on a mat, you can line yourself up with the back of the mat to make sure you're straight. So we want to push the top hip away, create a little gap underneath you so to make sure your waist is engaged. We don't ever want to collapse into the mat, we want to keep that engagement. If you need extra support, you can keep your hand on the floor, or you can keep your hand on the top hip. It's up to you. From here, squeeze the glutes, engage those, brace the core, and then lift and lower the top leg. So we're not going too high, just about hip height. And again, it's that feeling of having someone pulling your ankle away from you to create a nice long leg. neutral pelvis, keep the core connected, and try and keep the leg on the same level, front and back. So it should be about hip height roughly. Last time. And relax. Now you're going to bend your knees, bring them in front of you and bring this bottom arm underneath. Relax the head down to the floor and stack the palms. You're going to breathe in, lift up to the ceiling, and then as you breathe out, you're going to extend that arm backwards, and then close it up again. So you don't want to take this arm all the way to the floor, just enough to get a twist. So your hips stay facing forwards the whole time. Last one. And close it up again. And then just roll onto your back. Just hug your knees into your chest here, release the lower back a little bit. And when you're ready, place the feet back down. So feet at hip distance, knees are pointing up to the ceiling, and you're just going to tip and tilt the pelvis again. So just like we did at the beginning, but this time we're on the floor. So we're just going to find that neutral pelvis position in the lying position. So once you've gone as big as you can, gradually make that movement smaller. And settle somewhere in the middle, find that neutral pelvis position, wherever that is for you. From there, bring your hands down by your sides, palms down, so you can use them to help you. And then you're going to start that pelvic tilt we just did up towards you. So think about bringing your pubic bone up towards your belly button. And then you're going to take it further. So you start to peel the spine off the floor, one vertebrae at a time. Come up as far as it's comfortable for you. Take a deep breath in at the top of your movement, and then slowly lower down, one vertebrae at a time. Release the tailbone at the bottom. Take a deep breath in, and then go again. So you don't have to come all the way up onto your shoulders the first few times. You can start by about halfway and gradually increase if you want to and if it feels okay. This time we're going to add in at the top. So do your roll up as normal. When you get to the top, you're going to hold your hips up, so squeeze the glutes. And then you're going to breathe in, bring the arms up and over. Breathe out, bring the arms back down. And then roll down one vertebrae at a time. So we're just holding that bridge for a little bit longer. Training those muscles and making them stronger. So it's really important to hold the hips high as you move the arms, and think about that rib to hip connection again. You're going to keep this nice and tight the whole time. As much control as you can on the way down. Don't forget to release the tailbone before you take a deep breath in and go again. One more. Hug the knees into the chest, release the lower back. Gently rock side to side. And then from there, you're going to roll over to the other side so we can repeat the side lying exercises. So lie all the way down on that arm, straight legs. Make sure we're in a straight line. Push that top hip away. Make sure there's that little gap where the waist is engaged. And then we can start to lift and lower that top leg. So remember, we're thinking about making the top leg longer than the bottom leg. This time, hold the leg up and then take it forwards and back. So use the top hand to support you if you need to. Make sure we're breathing into the movement and keeping the core engaged. One more. And relax that leg down. Now we're going to bend the knees, bring them in front of you, and then bring that bottom arm underneath, and relax the head all the way down. So if you need to, you can get a cushion to support your head. From there, you're going to breathe in, lift the arm up, breathe out as you twist back, and then close it up again. So remember, we're not taking the arm too far. It's more about a twist through your spine. Last one. And relax. Roll over onto your back again. And hug the knees in. Gently rock side to side, massage the lower back into the floor. And we take this round in a circle. Change direction. And back to the middle. We're going to keep one leg hugged in and straighten the other one out along the floor, completely relaxed. Hug this in as tight as you can, as close to your chest as you can. Take a deep breath in, and then as you breathe out, you're going to extend that leg up to the ceiling, nice and slowly. If you would like a deeper stretch, you can flex the foot. From here, you're going to take hold of the outside of the leg. Extend this arm out on the floor and take that leg across your body. So you should feel a stretch on the outside of your thigh here. Make sure both hips stay down, not taking it too far. And back to the middle again. Same leg, we're going to swap arms and then bring the leg out to the other side. So this time you should feel the stretch on the inside of the thigh. knee again. Same leg still, and take the opposite hand to the knee, bring it all the way across your body and extend the arm out to the side so you're getting that spine twist. And then you can turn your head in the opposite direction as well. Breathe and relax into the stretch. And back to centre. Slowly extend that leg out. And then hug the other knee into the chest as tightly as you can. Take a deep breath in, and then as you extend the leg, breathe out. You want a deeper stretch and flex the foot. Take the opposite hand to the outside of the leg and gently pull that leg across your body just enough to feel the stretch on the outside of the thigh. And then back to the middle, swap hands, take the leg out to the other side. And then knee, take the opposite hand across, bring the knee all the way to the floor and turn the head in the opposite direction. And slowly come back to the middle. Hug the knees into the chest. And this time you're going to rock forwards and back. And then nice and gently bring yourself all the way up to sitting. From there, just come over to your hands and knees again. I'm just going to take that cat-cow stretch we did at the beginning again to mobilise the spine a little bit more. So I'm going to notice if it feels any different to when it did at the near the beginning of class. So start by putting the belly button into the spine, making sure you've got the hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, and then come up into that curve. Pulling the shoulder blades apart, drop the head, tuck the pelvis. Release back through neutral, and if it feels okay, come into the extension, lifting the tailbone, the chest and the head. Let's do a few rounds of those. Last one. And back to neutral. We're going to tuck the toes and then lift the hips up as high as you can. Aiming to get straight legs. Don't worry if you don't quite get there. Keep the chin tucked in and then let one heel sink all the way down to the floor. And change. Swapping legs, feeling that stretch down the back. And And lift both heels off the floor as high as you can. See if you can push the hips a bit higher. And then let both heels sink down as far as they'll go. From here then, both knees, walk the hands back towards the feet and just carry over your legs. From here, extend one knee, straighten the other one, open up to the straight side just like we did earlier. And change. Relax, bend both knees, keeping them bent. Slowly roll all the way up to standing. Head's the last thing to come up. And then reset into your natural position. So feet under the hips. And just take a few shoulder rolls. Notice how it feels compared to when we did it at the beginning. Connect back to your breath. So breathing in to lift. Out to lower. One more. And then just bring the hands in front of you. Take a few twists. So just twist one way, nice and slowly, and then the other way. Keeping the hips facing forwards, just twisting from the waist. One more each side. And back to the middle, arms down. Now we're going to breathe in, lift up. As you breathe out, we're going to swing forwards. Let everything go. Breathe in, back to the top. And again. Let go of any more tension. Two more. And just let the arms go, and just roll the shoulders back once more. Push them all the way down the spine, and see if you can lift up an extra inch. And take a deep breath in, and out, and again. One more time. Well done guys, that is the end of today's session. Thank you very much for joining me today.